I mentioned on the Dan O'Leary video I just did that I got depressed after going to the morning after I'd gone to his funeral the day before. I'd like to comment a little bit about mortality. I first really started thinking about being mortal when I went up on the lookout with my wife Judy in the summer of 1961. And we had lost our baby in July of 1960. And then, uh, not too long after that, in April of 61, my grandfather died. And in the interim, uh, my sister had a baby who had a blood incompatibility from a recessive gene that both parents shared. And he died, like our son, uh, very soon after he was born. Uh, our baby lived almost a month, and I think it was about the same with Karen's. So I landed up there in solitude on the top of this mountain, uh, where my duties were to look once an hour, 360 degrees around for smoke. And I had some very small duties that had to do with measuring weather factors. And other than that, it was just taking care of ourselves, feeding ourselves, and keeping the place cleaned up. So there was a lot of time, and we both read a lot of books. I used to be able to recite the number, uh, how many. Judy read more than I did. I've always been a somewhat slow reader. But anyway, I sat up there and thought about my mortality a lot and just got it really clear in my head that this was a limited engagement. Well, many things have happened since then. I've lost a lot of people uh, and been through watching people walk down that last short path. But I saw a movie when I was an undergraduate with Judy. We saw every Ingmar Bergman movie as they came out. There was a sort of a cultural movie theater there that the students all flocked into. Uh, and Ingmar Bergman had a movie called The Inn of the Seventh Seal. It was depicting crusaders who I've learned later went down to the Israel every year to kill Muslims. They thought that was their religious calling, but I think they were also kind of like elk hunters. They were going to go down there and enjoy slaughtering. It was very grim and gruesome. But along the way, there were these little thespians that would follow along with them, living off the scraps that they threw to them. Uh, and there was this one thespian that went out in the evening. They were up on a high ridge, and there was an incredible panoramic view from there. And he climbed up in a tree and uh, looked out, and then he heard something, and he looked down, and here was a man in a black robe with a black hood. And the little thespian said, "Who are you?" And the man said, "I'm death. I've come for you." And the thing that the little thespian had heard was the sound of a saw. And death was sawing off the limb he was standing on. And he looked around a little and he says, "Are there no exemptions for actors?" I think of that frequently when I think of my own mortality. Are there no exemptions for actors? But so it goes. I'm looking forward to my 85th birthday in a week. That has caught my attention. I've been thinking more than usual about my mortality. Being in uh, resounding good health, and so grateful for that, and so wonderfully happy that I get to go and do water aerobics 3 mornings a week. And I have a wonderful diet and a wonderful wife that likes to cook and lets me do some of the cooking too. And we share and enjoy the wonderful food out of our garden that we grow ourselves and preserve in the freezer and canning and so forth. So I'm very happy about my good health, but of course, having lost my first wife uh, in a very difficult illness and death has never, anything has not ever been the same since that happened. I'm much more aware of my mortality since I lost uh, someone who was almost like a Siamese twin to me. So along we go, and we just have to. I was talking with one of my sister's friend in the nursing home where she lives, and she and I agreed you just got to move on beyond it. As far as worrying about these things, you just got to move on beyond it. And that's what I'm doing today, and I recommend it to anyone else that is thinking about these things.